Hey, thank you for visiting my channel, Gear and Grit. And I want to tell you about the three self-defense tools that I got by TSA last week when I traveled to Lisbon, Portugal on business. So before I get into the four tools, uh, let me just tell you a very quick story. Uh, This is related to carrying these self defense tools. I'll tell you why. Um, Number one, my wife is a flight attendant with a major US airline and travels internationally all the time. She's been at it for almost 30 years. And every once in a while, she'll come home with a crazy story about passengers. Some of it's, some of the stories are just people acting stupid, right? Cantankerous, upset, belligerent, entitled. But every now and then she'll have a story where someone got violent, and it makes me really nervous for my wife. Um, I can't really protect her, but I'll tell you about one story that happened to me last week. So I got on a very early morning flight, uh, on a TAP Air Portugal flight. It's probably around 5:45 in the morning. I'm sitting in my seat, and you're just sitting there. And as we all do, I was looking at the people coming up the aisle, just kind of people watching, right? And this guy came up, and he did not look right. I mean, he looked crazy. He looked cray cray, dressed, hair's all disheveled, and but I was like, hey, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. Um, Gave it no more thought. He sat one row behind me on the other side. Well, here's what happened. And I'll tell you what, I reached into my jacket pocket when all of this started going down with to get one of my self-defense tools. Um, anyway, so he had put his bag in the overhead bin on the very edge, and other people were all trying to get their roller boards in, right? You know what it's like if you've been on a plane, you're trying to stuff everything into the overhead. And he took an issue with people sort of squashing his bag. He jumped up and started like yelling at this other person, this other guy. I mean, it's 5:45 in the morning, and the other guy was kind of like, "What? What?" And the flight attendant came down. It was a male flight attendant, and he started barking at the flight attendant, saying, "Hey, who's this guy pushing my bag around?" The flight attendant tried to, calm the man down. He was crazy, and like I said, my hand was in my pocket, and I was holding on to a weapon. So, anyway, that's why I like to carry things on board a plane because you never know. I want to also just say very quickly, I am not a violent person. I I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not looking to use these weapons. These are purely for self-defense if I were to come across someone really crazy. So I just want to preface this whole video with that in my defense. I think it's very smart to have, self-defense weapons. I always carry a knife with me everywhere I go, and a couple of other tools, but I'm not looking to use them. My God, I'm not. But I do believe in hope for the best, plan for the worst. Uh, so let me get into these tools with you. Okay, here's the first one. This is a carabiner. You'll see I've got some tape around it, some duct tape, but this is not your typical carabiner. This is not a cheap one. You'll see by the silhouette here on the inside that it's more formed versus a kind of cheap one that you might get at Home Depot or a hardware store. This one actually fits really nicely into my hand, fits really nicely into it. And I would never try and punch someone with this, but I would definitely strike them with a hammer blow. But in close quarters, by the way, it's much easier to do that than it is to do that. Um, that's me punching the table here. and I didn't feel a thing. And this duct tape kind of keeps it from getting slippy. So that was tool number one. TSA didn't say a word. It was in my backpack and just a regular looking carabiner. Less of a surprise to many people, but I still carry it. And I carried four through TSA because I was thinking they're going to catch one or two of these things and they're probably going to take them from me. So redundancy was a big thing. But number two is a tactical flashlight. This is like $10 and it is, I mean, it's solid. It works in two ways. One that, again, if you're doing the strike, it's got the beveled crown edge up here, if you can see that. And I do like that because it's a little bit more powerful than just it being flat. And if you were ever to get into a fist fight with someone, I would hold it in a way that, it actually supports my fist, a clenched fist, versus just using my fist in and of itself. And you can use it to strike, as part of your fist. Um, so this was number two. They did not take this away. Got through scot free. The third one is my tactical pen that I take everywhere with me. But just to make sure that people don't see this, the nasty end of this tactical pen, what I do is what I did was I had it opened where the nib was exposed, and I just covered the badass part of the end of this tactical pen with the lid, and just had that sitting in my jacket and passed through, went through the X-ray in the bin with my jacket, and it was perfectly fine. They probably just saw a pen. So that was number three. And actually, this was the weapon, the tool that I was reaching for in my jacket when I was on that Air Portugal flight, because I was just reaching in and a quick couple of jabs, and it's going to be a bad day, as they say, for someone, or it would have been for that guy. Okay, so those are the three, and I'm saving this final one. You might think I'm a little crazy with this final one, but it's still a sneaky, badass little thing. I literally stuck this in my in a pocket in my backpack, and looks like a harmless little pen, right? Or a harmless little thing, right? What it is a toothpick, but it is a bear with me here. It is a metal toothpick, and again, with a hammer strike, quick hammer strike, it's going to be a really bad day. This thing is super pointy and it's really solid and sturdy in my hand. Where if I just went up and did that a couple of times, jabbed someone, which I hope I never have to, um, as they say, it's going to be a really bad day. Those are my four self defense tools that TSA never saw, never even questioned if they did. And yeah, so I'm glad I brought them with me. You never know. Uh, Hope for the best, plan for the worst, as they say, right? Um, God helps those who help themselves. It's another lesson. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm going to post a bunch more videos about all kinds of stuff, EDC, prepping, survival, self-defense, stuff like that. I took 2 years of Krav Maga. I'm by no means a Krav Maga expert, but I did have to use my Krav Maga in Portugal. I know it sounds crazy. I'm like, wait, you had trouble on the plane and then you had to use your Krav Maga in Portugal? What's going on here? I promise you. But I will save that story for another day. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Okay, thanks.